Nigel Farage, thanks for talking to Sky News today. Now, you've proposed a plan to deport 600,000 migrants in the first Parliament of a Reform UK government should you win the next general election. It's a pledge to solve a problem that has skewered both the Conservative and Labour governments. Why are you and Reform any different?
Well, number one, because we mean it. And you do get the feeling with the other parties that they say this because they think the public want to hear it without actually wanting to deliver on it. And secondly, because the barriers that currently make such a policy impossible are there. And they are the Human Rights Act of 1998, the incorporation of the European Convention, the application of the 1951 UN Refugee Declaration. And whilst all of these things were very well intended 3/4 of a century ago, our argument is they are out of date and they prevent us acting like a normal country. And by the way, most countries in the world, if you go into them illegally, you're put in prison. What we're asking for is not especially radical, it's to be normal.
So you're going to do a massive overhaul of the law. You've set out lots of other policies. This is a big area where actually you have been very detailed on policy. Yesterday you said you were going to stop the boats within 2 weeks of being in government. You misspoke, didn't you?
No, I didn't say that. I said we'd stop the boats within 2 weeks.
That.
Well, within 2 weeks...
You'll stop the boats?
Within 2 weeks of passing the legislation, we'll stop the boats, yes.
So you'll pass the legislation to stop the boats?
Well, we can't stop the boats now, no one can.
So when will the boats be stopped? By the end of the Parliament? Just to be clear,
this happens, no. That would not be acceptable to the British public. This has to happen quickly. We have to get the legislation through as quickly as is humanly possible. And once we have the powers we need, within 2 weeks it'll stop.
So within 2 weeks, once you change the law, there will be no more boat crossings?
That's right.
So what's the bill that you're going to pass again? What did you call that bill?
The illegal migration,
the illegal migration bill. And just on record right now, if you win the next general election, after that bill has stopped, has been passed, within 2 weeks of that bill being passed, there will be no more boat crossings?
Maybe more quickly, but yes.
And if people attempt to come across, what do? Just send them back to France?
Detain, immediately detained, not free to walk the streets, and deported as quickly as is humanly possible. OK,
so the boat still might come, but you will be in a position...
Why would you pay a trafficker if you know on arrival you're going to be detained and deported?
OK. So you're going to leave the ECHR, you've talked about that, you're going to stop the boats, detain the migrants in the RFF bases, sort out the returns deals, start the deportation flights, all in 2 weeks of that bill passing. OK.
That's right.
All right, you're on record for that.
I certainly am.
Let's unpack that a bit then, because you say you will return migrants to the country of origin that they came from, and in the year to March 2025, 40% of those arrivals were from Afghanistan, Syria, Eritrea, Iran and Sudan. If you get into government, will you have those deals in place with those governments in the first 100 days? I think your answer will be yes, Beth.
Well, incredibly, even since I gave that speech, we've had other governments saying they will talk to us and do these deals. So you will have
those return deals in
place?
place?
Do you know what? I've been amazed at the response we've had already from other governments.
So you will have them in place? Because all of the things you're promising, lots of other governments have tried to do, but somehow you're going to do it within 2 weeks and they can't.
They've never meant it.
All right, so you'll have all of those return deals in place in the first 100 days of a Farage government on the record, you're saying that?
I absolutely believe that,
OK.
Yes.
We don't have diplomatic relations with the Taliban, but they are, quote, ready and willing to work with you on migrants. So will you send women and children back to Afghanistan and the Taliban?
I've made it very, very clear that our first priority with those that are living in Britain illegally is to deport men. It is men that are clearly the more perceived danger. And by the way, you talk about the Taliban. The Germans are doing this already.
Can we?
Germany already has a deal with Afghanistan.
But can we clear this up, Mr. Farage? Because on August the 26th, you said women and children, everyone on arrival, will be detained.
Yes.
Is that correct? Will you detain the women and children? Yes. Will you send them back?
Yes. Women that arrive by boat will be deported immediately.
To Afghanistan?
Yes, if necessary.
You will send women back to Afghanistan, just
I'm
on
really
the record.
I'm really sorry. We have a massive crisis in this country.
OK, but just
and
so the British public understand, you will send women and children back to live under the Taliban.
I am more concerned about the rights of British people than I am about those who come here illegally.
Yeah, but you've said two things about this, so I'm trying to clear it up. Because
what I've said is,
on the 27th of August,
you
said we're not even discussing women and children at this
things.
stage.
One, those that arrive by boat will be detained. Men and women will be detained and deported. Children, of course, will have to know that we're sending them off somewhere sensible.
So you might not send them back.
Hang on, if a 4-year-old kid arrives, chucked on a dinghy, we will have a duty of care, all right?
Okay.
But hang on, the numbers here are so tiny,
but I
it's
just
almost
want to be
irrelevant.
clear, because
and then what I said
I'm
was,
not going to go
and
into
then what
all
I
of
said
the
was,
human rights issues
and
of
then
all
what
the
I said
countries.
was, then what I said was, we then have the separate problem of those already here.
Okay,
who've come
but
illegally.
I'm just asking you
because
you've said
deportation,
two things on this. Let's, for clarity, women and children from Afghanistan will be sent back to the Taliban.
For clarity, those that cross the English Channel will be detained and deported, men and women.
Okay,
children will have to think about it.
That's clear, and that's helpful,
And I made
because
that
you've said
clear.
two things.
Then, when it comes to deporting, those that are living here illegally, our priority with that is to deport as many men first.
But you might send women back to the Taliban. Let's go on to
I tell you what we will do.
I just want
protect British women on British streets. And this is the point, I think, that so much of government and media is missing. It is this fact. We seem to be more concerned about other governments around the world.
I was asking you a specific question about the Taliban and women and children, given that we have not had diplomatic relations with them and what they do to women in that country.
What about the mothers of Epping?
That's what I was asking.
What about the mothers of Epping?
You've given a clear answer.
That's what matters.
Given a clear
That's
answer.
what matters.
Let's go on to hotels, because you've promised to shut the hotels by the end of Parliament. I think there's obviously public appetite is clear.
We won't need them.
Yes, you've said you'll house 24,000 illegal immigrants in centres within 18 months. Have you got those sites going? And where are they? And are you going to put them in buildings? Are you going to put them in tents? How does that bit of the policy work?
I mean, listen, if we're capable of building a Nightingale hospital in the space of 7 days, and if you look at Florida, where recent detention centres have been built under Governor Ron DeSantis, in 10 days they provided blocks for thousands of people.
So you're saying you can build the facilities?
Of course, if you've got the will to do these things, you can do it. What I'm really hopeful of, though, is this, that we find those who are living here illegally, and we say to them, look, we're coming to get you, so why not take the voluntary option?
Yes, and you've
said that I think will be very successful.
It's the £2,500 to voluntarily go back to.
And if people believe that they are going to be deported, a lot of them will take that option.
Okay. Well, look, we've talked a bit about your immigration plans. Some are clearer than others, and the ambition is bold.
Very clear.
I heard you very clearly. You will stop the boats within 2 weeks of legislation being passed. I think a lot of people will look at that and think that that is a tall order, but that's on you. Let's get to welfare, because you said in your speech that you want serious cuts to the welfare budget. Other parties are saying this too. It's not fair, you said, on people who get up with their alarm every morning to go to work and pay their taxes. You say, we will be the party that backs working people. In light of that, are you reconsidering your policy to scrap the 2-child benefit cap, given it will add £3.4 billion a year to the welfare bill? No,
because what I said specifically was we would scrap it, and no one listened, but we'd scrap it for working British people, meaning a couple who both work 37 and a half hours a week.
So if people are on benefits,
they're not going to qualify for it.
If they're receiving universal credit but doing some work?
Well, and that's the 16-hour trap, and that's a much bigger, deeper discussion. But no, it's designed for people who are both working full-time. It's a pro-family help for lower paid people.
Because the Conservatives say it's unfair to hand packages to families on benefits that are worth
which is why I'm not doing
more than minimum wage.
Which
so
is why
you
I'm not
will not do that.
No,
so it's only for working people.
And this is the problem, isn't it? You've got 1 million people out there that are working that would be better off on benefits.
So look, just on welfare, it seems to me that you don't like Kemi Badenoch much. You don't seem to agree with the Conservatives on much. But on welfare, you two seem quite aligned.
Hang on a second.
Because she also believes in cutting
No,
welfare.
she doesn't.
The Conservatives have a... Let me put it to you, and then you can disabuse me of what I'm saying.
Comical.
The Conservatives say they also want to go on welfare, further on welfare.
Really?
And they think they can cut 12 billion from the welfare bill, reforming PIP. This was something Rishi Sunak actually put in train before they lost the general election, tightening work capability assessments. Do you agree with some of those policies, Nigel? Tightening PIP eligibility, strict health assessments, long-term sick, on universal credit, downgraded to lower support potentially. Do you agree with some of the ideas of the Conservative Party?
I don't believe a single word they say, and nor do the British people.
But if you are going to make serious cuts, you're going to have to do some of that stuff, no?
No one's listening. No one's listening to what they're...
I think people are listening to what you will do on welfare.
And do you know why? Because their record in government was the opposite. Welfarism exploded during 14 years. Now, when it comes to it, perhaps the biggest area for all of this is the fact that up to 1,000 people a day are going on to disability.
And that's what the Labour government were trying to reverse.
Well, they won't, of course. You know they won't.
But you would back tougher rules on PIP eligibility.
Yes, so as of today, Lee Anderson becomes our welfare spokesman. Lee Anderson will work to help us develop policy.
But you are going to make it harder for people to claim PIP.
We are going to make it harder across a range of benefits to make sure that
those
that get them genuinely deserve
further than Labour, further than the Conservatives.
And given that Lee worked for Citizens Advice Bureau, here is someone that really understands the system. But yes, I'm afraid we cannot literally afford as a country a welfare bill.
So Labour didn't go hard enough on the 4.5 billion of cuts. You think they should have gone further?
Without a doubt, if they really, really knew what they were doing. But I think it's the disability benefit area that is the most significant.
OK. That's useful to know, thank you. And I know that you said in your speech you were going to outline more details about your welfare plans. Last November, you told Sky News, and I'm quoting you exactly here, just exchange contracts on the house. I've bought a house in Clacton, your constituency, but it's not your house, is it?
I should have said we.
You don't actually own a house in Clacton,
I should have said we, all right? My partner bought it, so what?
OK. Well, the reason I'm asking you is that...
So what?
Isn't it because you own multiple homes and that your partner bought the house in their name and you had nothing to do with it, meant that the standard rate of stamp duty was paid on it?
How dare you? It's her asset. No, how dare you? It's her business, her money, her asset.
Okay,
and you know what? Actually, given that it's in the constituency, for security reasons, it's better that way round.
Yes, but I'm just saying, you said I, and that wasn't true.
All right, I should have said we. I should have said we. All right, it's her money, it's her asset. I own none of it, but I just happen to spend some time.
I know, but I'm just the reason I'm pointing out you've done nothing wrong. I mean, it's completely legal. You can live in that house and she can do it. But in terms of the sniff test, it's kind of like you said, I bought this house, and it turns out that actually
you know
didn't,
what?
and someone paid less.
It's a really funny thing in life, but sometimes we all say things that perhaps we shouldn't quite have said. I should have rephrased it, but I didn't want to put her. I didn't want to put her in the public domain.
Do you think it makes you look a bit dodgy though?
No, you can try.
You say,
I'm trying as hard as you like.
You
can try as hard as you like. It's nonsense.
OK. So you think it's OK, and that's fine. I just wanted to clear it up that you did not buy that house and standard stamp duty was paid because you have homes elsewhere.
Standard stamp duty was paid.
One other thing that people are asking as well is Prime Ministers publish their tax returns. I think you haven't published your tax return. There's no reason.
I publish my company accounts every year, and you can see exactly.
If you became Prime Minister, would you publish your tax return?
I think it's probably an imposition too far.
Okay, so.
But having said that, you know, at the point I become Prime Minister, then all of my business interests would have to be passed over to a trust anyway. So I think, frankly, it wouldn't matter.
But you think in terms of now, tax transparency, publishing your tax returns...
It's nobody's business.
I mean, that's a fair enough point. Just finally, Angela Rayner had to leave government, was found to have broken the ministerial code, didn't get the right advice. She thought she'd done the right thing. It turned out she had not. Do you have any sympathy for her, or do you think that you live by the sword, you die by the sword?
Depends what her intentions were.
What do you think her intentions were?
I don't know. I just sort of hear that the valuation on one of the houses was double what it should have been. It all looks pretty odd. It all looks pretty odd. But you know what? She's the housing minister, and if the housing minister has not paid stamp duty, then there was no other way.
But you like her, don't you? Personally.
Do you know what? I think she's got personality. I think she's got character. I disagree with her politically on many things, But I kind of think we need more people in politics who are real, and she is real. And she will now be a real problem for Keir Starmer on the backbenches because, of course, the battle for who becomes the new deputy leader is going to see the left side of the Labour Party with a very strong voice. And who knows, her voice might be with them.